colligative properties of electrolytes. Now, up till now, we talked about the colligative properties of non-electrolytes. The solute that we were adding, it was it was non-electrolyte. Okay, so here now we'll talk about the colligative properties of electrolytes. So electrolytes are those which ionizes when dissolved in water. You know this thing. So the colligative properties of solution of electrolytes are greater than for the solutions of non-electrolytes of same concentration. Means if you are dissolving non-electrolyte solute in water and if you are dissolving electrolyte solute in water, the colligative properties of electrolyte solutions will be more than the non-electrolyte solution. So what is the reason for this difference? And we'll have to take into account electrolytes also, because most of the solutes, they might be electrolytes also. Electrolytes in aqueous solution, which are determined by the colligative properties, are found to be lower than that of the formula mass. So we use the term this formula mass. You must have studied this in first chapter from the 11th standard textbook. So formula mass term is used for the ionic compounds. Okay. If you are dissolving ionic compound, the molar mass of that compound is called as formula mass if the compound is electrolyte or ionic in nature. Okay. Now, what is the thing? The molar mass of electrolyte in aqueous solution, which is determined by the colligative properties like lowering in vapor pressure or boiling point elevation, depression in freezing point. If you use these colligative properties or osmosis even, so these are found to be lower than the formula mass. So why is this so? What is the reason for this difference? So we will be talking about this. What is the reason for this difference here? So why colligative properties of electrolyte solutions are greater than those for non-electrolyte solutions? So reason for this is that the electrolyte solutes, when you dissolve electrolyte in solvent like water, they undergo dissociation. So they undergo here dissociation. Properties of electrolyte solutions are greater than those for the non-electrolyte solution. So you always remember this. Huh? Colligative properties of electrolyte solutions are greater than those for the non-electrolyte solution. Remember. Okay. So what is the reason for this? So when electrolyte solution, when dissolved in solvent like water, so it undergoes dissociation to produce particles. They produce particles or ions. Ions or particles are produced here. So these particles are more in number. So these particles are more in number when you dissolve electrolyte solute in a solvent like water. So this increases the magnitude of colligative property. So the magnitude of colligative property is increased. So magnitude of this colligative property is increased because the number of ions which are formed after dissolving this electrolyte solute, it produces more number of ions and that increases the colligative property. So magnitude of this colligative property, it increases. Okay, so this is the reason for this, and this increase of this colligative property and this increase decreases the molar mass. So this decreases the molar mass of the solute. Remember why this is so? Because we know that this colligative properties, these are inversely proportional to the molar mass, that is M2. Colligative properties, this is the relation between the colligative property and the molar mass. So it means that if the colligative property increases the molar mass of the solute, it will definitely go on decreasing. Means the observed mass of the solute, it will reduce to 1/2 or 1/3 or 1/4. So I'll explain this by taking some examples. Suppose in case of the aqueous solution of electrolyte like HCl, NH4Cl. So how will you calculate this? The value of the theoretical value of Kf and the observed molar mass is almost the half because they produce the almost twice the number of ions on the dissociation. Now, for example, in CoCl2, cobalt chloride, we have this equation with us delta TF upon M. Okay, so when it dissociates, it produces, this is the 3 times the theoretical value of Kf. Theoretical value of Kf. Okay, so the observed molar mass for this cobalt chloride, observed molar mass for this cobalt chloride would be is almost 1/3. 1/3. Now, what is the reason for this? Now you can see here there is one cobalt atom and 2 chlorine atoms are there. So in all total, how many number of atoms are there? There are 3 atoms. Okay. So when this cobalt chloride is dissolved in water, it ionizes as, you can write this as ionization as cobalt plus Cl plus Cl. So it will dissociate at like this, CO plus 2, Cl minus and Cl minus. Let me check the charts. What are they saying? There are 3 atoms. So you can dissociate this as CO plus 2, Cl minus and Cl minus. The total charges should be equal to 0. Plus 2 minus 2, it becomes equals to 0 here. Now when this cobalt chloride, it dissociates, it forms 3 atoms, 3 ions, sorry, 3 ions here, cobalt ion and 2 chlorine ions. So it means that the 3 times the theoretical value of Kf. You know that Kf equal to delta Kf upon M, that is the molality. So, and we know that this colligative property, it is colligative property, it is inversely proportional to molar mass. So if the number of solute particle, it increases, the molar mass will go on decreasing because this is inverse relation between them. So if there are 3 atoms are formed by dissociation, now the next is, that is called as the Van't Hoff factor. Now what is this Van't Hoff factor is actually, this is the factor which correlates between the molar mass of electrolytes and molar mass of non-electrolytes. It should be something which can cope up with this difference in the values. So that is decided by this Van't Hoff factor, that is I. So what is this Van't Hoff factor is actually? We'll go to the last one first. The observed colligative property of electrolyte solution divided by the observed colligative property of non-electrolyte solution of the same concentration. Now what is this? Observed colligative property of electrolyte solution means when electrolyte is dissolved in water, as I already told that there is a change in the colligative properties when it is dissolved because there more number of ions are formed. So it is dependent on the number of ions produced when it is dissolved in water, and it is divided by observed colligative property of non-electrolyte solution of the same concentration. So the ratio of this is called as the Van't Hoff factor. The same thing can be put in other words also. That is actual mass of particles in solution after dissociation. So it is divided by moles of formula units dissolved in solution. Formula mass of the substance divided by observed molar mass of the substance. This delta TF, this is the change in the freezing point. This is for electrolyte. Delta TF naught, this is for non-electrolyte. याचा जो ratio है, that is what we call as the Van't Hoff factor. The same thing can be applied to the elevation in boiling point. This is lowering of vapor pressure and this is for the osmotic pressure. We have studied this all the 4 colligative properties. So from this you can say colligative property is directly proportional to the number of solute particles present in solution, and that is why those are called as colligative properties. That is N2. N2 means number of moles of solute particles, but the colligative properties are inversely proportional to the molar mass of solute, that is M2. Clear? Just remember this ratio between the electrolyte and non-electrolyte colligative properties. This is called as the Van't Hoff factor because we want to just compensate with the difference in the molar mass of the electrolyte and non-electrolyte. These are the equations which we have used for solving the problems also. This is lowering in vapor pressure. This equation we have used. This is for the elevation of in boiling point. This also we know. This is for the depression in freezing point. This also we know. We have studied this thing. The same thing I put. Colligative property is inversely proportional to the molar mass of source. So these are the things for the non-electrolyte one. Now, if you want to put this in terms of electrolyte, what can be done? So here, I is nothing but the number of solute particles in solution because they are dissociating here. Electrolytes आहेत ते dissociate होतात. म्हणून number of solute particles in solution divided by theoretical number of solute particles due to solution of non-electrolyte. It is again the same thing. Electrolyte divided by non-electrolyte. It means that N observed divided by N theoretical. I mean, this is nothing but the number of particles. Small n means number of moles. And we know this thing. Colligative property is inversely proportional to the molar mass. Now, this I is again the thing. So you can write here I equals to theoretical molar mass divided by observed molar mass. So what is this I? Theoretical molar mass, that will be of electrolyte. Observed molar mass, that will be for the non-electrolyte. That ratio is called as the Van't Hoff factor. So you'll be very clear, more clear with this thing when you solve actually the problems based on this. Now the next means observed molar mass, theoretical molar mass divided by observed molar mass. M theoretical upon M observed. Delta P is equal to P01 into X2. If you multiply this by Van't Hoff factor, you will get the lowering of vapor pressure for electrolyte. Okay, if you multiply the same thing, you can write this way. Weak electrolytes, they dissociate to small extent, while strong electrolytes, they dissociate completely. Electrolytes, they dissociate to small extent, and strong electrolytes, they dissociate completely. Now here, what happens? This is true for the strong electrolytes. Now, up till now, we are considering that the electrolytes are completely dissociated in their solution. But this is not true for the strong electrolytes and not for weak electrolytes. They dissociate to a small extent. So the weak electrolytes involve concept of degree of dissociation. Means this concept of degree of dissociation, this word degree of dissociation, it is related to weak electrolytes. Dissociation is important here. Okay. So now for this relation between Van't Hoff factor and degree of dissociation. Now if you consider an equation showing here Ax By, reversibly it is dissociating as X moles of A and Y moles of B, and this Y plus and Z minus, these are the charges on this A and B component. Suppose we take initially 1 mole of this. Before dissociation, the value for this A and B would be 0. This is 0, 0. This is initially before they are dissociated. Now at equilibrium, which is equilibrium, what is it? That is, if you are taking 1 mole, 1 minus alpha mole. Before going to this, I'll just talk about this. Here, X into alpha mole means they dissociate this much mole, X into alpha. This alpha is nothing but the degree of dissociation. And this Y component, it dissociates as Y plus alpha mole. Okay. After some time, after they have reached the equilibrium minus alpha. 1 minus alpha, why we are rewriting here? Because we are taken 1 mole. But त्यातला 1 minus alpha हा भाग उरलेला आहे, which remain undissociated one. So this 1 minus alpha is nothing but the undissociated moles of the AB component. Whereas this alpha is nothing but the degree of dissociation, means how much, in what amount the these two components A and B are dissociating. Now this alpha X or X alpha, that is moles of cations. Y alpha, those are moles of anions at equilibrium. This is number of moles of A These are number of moles of B after dissociation. And this is 1 minus alpha. This is the number of moles of AP which remain undissociated. Okay. Now, further, now the total moles after dissociation. किती dissociate झालेला आहे after dissociation? 1 minus alpha plus x alpha plus y alpha. ह्या तिन्हींची जी addition आहे, those will be the number of moles after dissociation. म्हणजे now if you rearrange this equation, 1 plus alpha common इकडे बाहेर काढलाय, x plus y minus 1. Okay, I hope you understand this. याला फक्त आपण rearrange केलेलं आहे. 1 plus alpha बाहेर काढला, x plus y minus 1. We put this in bracket. So 1 plus alpha. Now x plus y, you can replace it with n. Suppose n equal to x plus y, that is the moles of ions obtained from dissociation of 1 mole of electrolyte. What are these x plus y? This x plus y is nothing but the moles of ions obtained after dissociation. Is this x plus y n? So you can write here n minus 1. Okay. So now I is nothing but actual moles of particles in solution after dissociation divided by moles of formula units dissolved in solution. 1 plus alpha into n minus 1. कुठे आहे हा 1 plus alpha? This is your 1 plus alpha n minus 1. Okay. So you will substitute for this. Numerator ला जे काही दिलेलं आहे, this is nothing but 1 plus alpha into n minus 1. And what is this 1? This is the moles of formula unit dissolved in solution because we are taken 1 mole. So it can be written as 1 plus alpha n minus 1 divided by 1 म्हणजे same च झालाय. So or alpha equals to I minus 1 upon n minus 1. So here how do you reach to this point? 1 plus alpha n minus 1 divided by 1. So this is the actual number, actual particles which we have which are dissociated in the solution, and this is the formula mass. We want this equation in terms of alpha equal to I minus 1 and 1 minus n minus 1. So you can write this I equals to 1 plus alpha, solve this bracket, alpha n minus alpha. Next thing what you can write, I हा इकडे आणायचा, I upon 1 equal to alpha n minus alpha. Okay. Now I upon 1 equals to alpha into n minus 1. Instead of this, you can write, you just take out the common, alpha into n minus 1. Next, you can write for this same, I upon 1 into alpha. हा इकडून इकडे आणायचा, 1 into alpha equals to n minus 1. Isn't it? Now you can write this further, 1 into alpha into n minus 1. So you can write 1 into alpha into n minus 1 equal to what? I. So you can write this same equation in terms of alpha equals to I minus 1. 1 इकडे जर केला, this will be minus I minus 1 divided by n. So we got this equation. So alpha equals to I minus 1 divided by n minus 1. So this is also used for solving the problems. So I'm not sure relation between the actual moles or actual particles of the electrolytes divided by the non-electrolytes. So this equation is important here. Observed colligative property of the electrolyte divided by observed colligative property of the non-electrolyte. And one more thing you remember, that colligative property is inversely proportional to the molar mass. So colligative property is inversely proportional to the molar mass of the solute. Okay. So this is about the Van 't Hoff factor and all. So if you have any doubts, you can